Hey guys, it's Alex. Welcome to another video. Welcome back to my kitchen. I am so glad to have you here. So, we're all at home. We're all cooking more than usual. That's old news. But I had a bit of a realization. A lot of people still don't know how to make the cooking basics. I'm talking eggs. I'm talking potatoes. I'm talking... I don't know what else there is. Rice, the real basics. And I figured there is no better time than now to start learning those basic cooking techniques, and I am here to show you. I know I'm not the most qualified person to show you, but you know, I know a thing or two. And I figured it'd be a fun way to learn a little something, to have a little fun, to eat some good food, and because again, I'm just alone in my apartment indefinitely. Today, we're talking eggs. In this video, I'm gonna show you 5 easy classic techniques to make perfect eggs every time. We're gonna scramble, boil, fry, poach, and omelify. Omelify? Omelette. Make an omelette. We're gonna make an omelette. To keep in your back pocket and impress your friends when we finally get out of lockdown. Who doesn't like eggs? They're a cheap source of protein. They're easy, they're functional, they're versatile, they're excellent, one may say. I know what some of you are thinking. Alex, I know how to make eggs, but don't be fooled by this little guy. There's a lot that can go wrong, and this video is to help you do it right every time. All right, let's get cracking. That was dangerous. So first things first, let's talk about buying eggs. When I buy my eggs, I choose pasture-raised every time. This is different than free-range. This is different than cage-free. Those terms are actually pretty deceptive. In the case of cage-free and free-range eggs, the hens are still not allotted time to roam outside, and this means they don't live a very happy life. The term pasture-raised, however, means that the hens that make your eggs are able to roam on healthy pastures. I also take it a step further and look for the certified humane label. This means that the hens are properly cared for and get to roam outside all day. It's also worth mentioning that pasture-raised eggs have been proven to be higher in omega-3s, in vitamin D, in vitamin E, and in beta-carotene. So, it's a win-win situation. Happy hens, happy life. When you purchase your eggs, always be sure to open up the carton, take a look, make sure none of them are cracked, and you're good to go. Most eggs come with a sell-by date on the side of the box. Sell-by is different than eat-by, so just give it a look. Your egg should last in the fridge up to 3 weeks beyond it. Honestly, I've eaten eggs that are like 4 or 5 weeks beyond the sell-by date, and there hasn't been a significant difference, so always just use your judgment. Give it a sniff. That's my general rule of thumb. Give it a smell. Alright, let's start off with none other than scrambled eggs. This might be the most popular type of egg, but don't quote me on that. Scrambled eggs are awesome because they're simple, they're quick, they're always delicious, but there might be a few ways you're making them wrong, so let's break it down. To start off, I am gonna crack 2 eggs into a bowl. About 2 eggs is normal per person, but if you're a little hungrier, you can do 3. I like to crack my eggs in a bowl separately so that they get an even mix before I put them in the hot pan, so just mix that up. I'm also going to season this with a little salt and a little pepper. One more mix and over to the pan. So to start, I have my pan over low heat. You really want to do your scrambled eggs over low heat and go low and slow because eggs are protein and protein gets tough with heat. If you overcook your eggs, they'll be tough and rubbery, but if you cook them on a low, gentle heat, they'll be soft and creamy and delicious. So I'm going to start with about a tablespoon of butter. Our butter goes right into our pan. I'm going to let this butter melt completely before I put in our eggs. Again, the heat is low enough that the butter shouldn't pop or sizzle or do anything crazy. Just melt it down. Alright, now that our butter is melted, I'm going to add in our eggs. So now that my eggs are in, I'm just going to let them sit for a minute just to start solidifying. And then I'm gonna go in with my spatula. I'm just gonna start scraping the eggs in towards the middle. When you cook your eggs low and slow like this, it's definitely gonna take a little longer, but the extra time is worth it, I promise. You'll start to see some ribbons of cooked egg form. Now I just want to keep moving them around just to make sure they all cook evenly and none of the egg gets overcooked. So my eggs are looking really nice and custardy. They're just a little underdone. They're gonna keep cooking on the hot pan. So I'm gonna take them off the heat and add just another tablespoon of butter to make them extra buttery and delicious. The cold butter will also help to stop the cooking process so that your eggs don't overcook. So just keep it moving and allow the butter to melt into the eggs. So now, just gotta plate my eggs. Wow, they look so delicious. I like to top them with a few fresh chives. All right, let's give it a taste. Oh my God, so good. That butter takes it over the top. You get the saltiness and the creaminess from the eggs and the butter, then the little freshness from the chives. Perfection. On to the beloved fried egg. I love fried eggs because I love a runny yolk. They're awesome on toast, on burgers, on noodles. Honestly, they're good on just about anything. Maybe not anything, but you know what I mean. So for my fried egg, I'm starting over here on the stove. I have a non-stick pan over medium heat. I like to fry my egg in olive oil. Some people fry their egg in butter. I prefer the crispiness you get with oil, but that's just me. A couple tablespoons of olive oil right in my pan. Let this heat up for a minute. You'll notice that your oil is hot enough when it starts to get like a little shimmery. So I'm just gonna crack my egg right into the pan. And it should immediately start to kind of come together and sizzle. I'm gonna season our egg with a little salt and pepper. So to make sure this gets an even cook, and because my stove is a little wonky, I'm just gonna move the pan around. I'm also gonna start kind of like scraping up the egg with a spatula and just turning it just to make sure it cooks all the way around evenly. Now some people suggest to spoon some of the hot oil on top to cook the top of the egg. You don't need to do that. It should cook on its own. You definitely want to make sure all the whites are all the way cooked through, but I like to leave my yolk pretty runny. All right, and once it's all fried, take it off the heat, transfer it with my spatula to my plate. All right, let's give it a try. A fry. Oh, that's the stuff. You get the really crispy edge, then the soft white and the runny yolk. There's nothing better. Next is the boiled egg. I love a boiled egg because they're quick, cheap, and a great healthy protein-packed snack. I usually like to make a bunch at a time and eat them as a snack throughout the week, so let me show you how I do it. So like I said, for boiled eggs, I like to make a lot at once. I'll just start with, oh my God, whoops. All right, not gonna use that one. Don't crack your eggs in the bowl first. I start by putting my eggs carefully in the pot. I'll just do 3 for now. And then cover those eggs with some water. We wanna make sure they're covered so that they get an even cook all around. And onto the stove we go. So I'm gonna move my pot of water over high heat. The reason I started with the eggs in cool water was that we're raising the temperature pretty slowly here so that the inside of the egg has a chance to cook before the outside does. All right, so my water is boiling. I'm gonna take it off the heat. And now I'm gonna cover our pot with a lid. I'm gonna let this hang out for about 5 minutes so that the eggs can cook through in the hot water. You can leave your eggs in the hot water anywhere from like 4 to 15 minutes depending on how hard you like your yolk. I like my egg yolks to be sort of like jammy, not a full hard boil, not a full soft boil, but just in the middle. So it's been about 5 minutes. I'm gonna transfer our eggs into some ice water. This is an important step to stop the cooking process. If you don't do this, your eggs will just keep on cooking. And also you might get that weird like gray-green color that no one wants in their egg yolks. All right, let's cut this guy open. Right in half. Ooh, perfect. That is the yolk I love. It's not too hard, a little bit jammy, just delicious. You could top your boiled eggs on ramen, you could make deviled eggs, or you could eat them as is. I like mine with a little flaky salt. All right, let's give it a try. So simple, so good. Next is the classic omelet. I know omelets can be a little bit intimidating. Sometimes they end up as scrambled eggs, but I'm gonna show you how I do it perfect every time. Maybe not every time, but most of the time. I'm gonna start much like the scrambled eggs. 2 eggs right in the bowl. You want to give them a pretty good mix here. You want to make sure all the whites and the yolks are completely combined. I'm also going to go ahead and season this with some salt and pepper. Mix that up one more time and we're good to go. Alright, so I'm starting with a non-stick pan. Non-stick is really important here. Over medium-low heat. Again, much like the scrambled eggs, we're cooking this low and slow to make sure we get a nice creamy omelet. To my pan, I'm adding about a tablespoon of butter. And I'm gonna let this butter melt completely down before I add in our eggs. So my butter is completely melted down. I'm gonna add in our eggs right in the pan. And now this is where some of that technique comes in. Again, a lot like the scrambled eggs, I'm just gonna keep this moving with my spatula so that none of the egg overcooks. This will help you get a really nice creamy inside of your omelet before the outside has a chance to cook. So I am moving both the pan and my spatula here. Omelets are fancy. You need to take your time with them. We want to wine and dine our omelet, you know? All right, eventually we're going to start seeing some ribbons forming in our eggs as they start to cook over this low heat. Finish spreading it around and let our omelet sit. Now I'm gonna allow the outside to start cooking through. I'm also gonna take the time now to put some cheese in our omelet. I love a good filling in an omelet. You could put in whatever cheese you want. I'm putting in some crumbled feta. You could even do some veg, maybe some tomatoes, some bacon. Go crazy. I'm just gonna let this cook a little bit and set so that we're able to roll it up. You'll know that it's done when the edges start to peel away. All right, beautiful. I'm just gonna run my spatula around the edge and just start to roll it all the way down. So gravity helps you, nice and slow. All the way to the bottom and then pull it off. And now just push your omelet right onto the plate. A little bit of fresh chive. All right, let's give it a taste. Whew, lots of eggs today. And they just keep getting better. That inside is so creamy and nice, and then that tanginess from the feta, 10 out of 10, if I do say so myself. And last is the poached egg, probably the fanciest one of the bunch, but don't let that intimidate you. It's super simple and always a winner. I'm gonna start by cracking 1 egg into a separate bowl. This is really important to make sure you're ready for when the time comes to put the egg in the water. All right, moving on over here to the stove. I have a pot of water over medium-high heat. I wanna bring this water to a simmer, but not a boil. I'm gonna season the water with a little salt. The reason we want our water simmering is so that the bubbles will help move the egg around in the water. But if it's bubbling too much, then it'll go a little crazy. All right, my water is simmering. I'm gonna take a spoon and start stirring the water in one direction to make a whirlpool kind of thing. You'll notice that the water starts to sink a little bit in the center, and that is where you want to drop your egg. And dump the egg right in there. So that movement of the water will help move that egg around so that that white starts to envelop the yolk in a way. And that's a poached egg. So now I'm just gonna let the egg hang out in there for a minute to cook, and we're good to go. I told you it wasn't so bad. And just fish your egg out of the water with a slotted spoon. Just put it on your plate. The poached egg looks a little sad alone. Normally I'd eat it with some toast or something, but I don't have any bread. So just pretend. But I am gonna top it with a little more salt, some fresh pepper, and some chives, of course. Beautiful. Poached eggs are great because this is a really gentle way of cooking an egg, so they're so soft and delicate. All right, let's try it. Last one. Last egg. Beautiful. Look at that runny yolk. So delicate and soft. Would be perfect on an English muffin or some toast, but still really good on its own. Well, that's it for my extravaganza video. 5 foolproof ways to make perfect eggs every time. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Let me know what your favorite kind of egg is. Also, let me know if you like this video. If you want me to make any more, I'm here all month, or however long this lasts. All right, see you guys later.